Jesus, William H. Macy, Christ, guys. Welcome back to the show. We look at some real stupid crap and we go... So that's right, today we're going to be looking at one of my favorite YouTubers. His name's Beanie Babyro, and he does this other show, for members on his website called Deranged. Sorry, I read that wrong. It's called Debunked. Debunked.
You're about to watch an episode from the new season of one of my coolest shows.
Coolest?
Debunked. We have 2 full seasons available right now, plus a ton of other content over at Daily Wire. If you like what you see, click that link in the description below and use code BEN for 25% off. Enjoy this sneak peek.
I'll think about it.
A lot of folks on the left say that the rich don't pay their fair share.
It's time for corporate America and the wealthiest 1% of Americans to just begin to pay their fair share.
Pay a fair share.
You're going to start paying your fair share of taxes.
Oh boy.
But this requires us to answer a few questions. First, what does the rich even mean?
Take a doo-doo pie. C.K. Louis, the comedian.
So this is pretty exciting right here. He starts out by saying, well, we don't even know. What do you mean rich? I don't even know what that means. How do we even define who's rich? And the little stat that I'm about to show you, he never brings up, which is sort of weird, what I'm about to show you. It's sort of weird that you're talking about like taxes and macroeconomics in a country and all this stuff. And you never bring up like a very, very basic fact. And I'll just read this. This is from a communist website called CNBC. The C probably stands for... The stock portfolios of the top 1% are now worth $23 trillion, and they own a record 53. This is just the top 1% of people in the U.S. They own over half of the stocks. Okay, so that's just the top 1%. That's just the top 1% owns half. What about the top 10%? The top 10% owned a record 89%. Just the top 10. Wow. The top 10 owned a record 89% of individually held corporate equities and mutual fund shares at the end of 2021. So they own all the wealth. But to answer his question, who's even rich? Yeah, it would be the top 10% that owns 90% of the wealth. That's a pretty easy one, actually, Ben Shapiro.
That's really weird.
Jesus. Soaring stock prices have created a feedback cycle for wealth and inequality, says Wolf, the NYU professor, because stock ownership is tilted toward the top of the wealth ranks. Rising stock prices shift more money to richer Americans. Since the wealthy can afford to save and invest a larger share of their added wealth, more of the nation's wealth gains flow to the stock market. That raises stock prices even further. So it creates a feedback loop where it's like the more money you put in, the more money you make, and more money.
It's worth noting when we talk about the rich that Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren and Joe Biden talk about this as though it was a Marxist class.
Whoa!
As though it's just a group of people and they were always the same. The truth is that throughout people's lives, they move in and out of income quintiles.
Disgusting.
A quintile is a 1/5 or 20% portion of the whole. Quintiles divide the population, ordered by income from lowest to highest, into 5 groups, each with an equal number of households.
The vast majority of Americans will spend their days in many different income quintiles over the course of their life. People tend to increase their income quintiles over the course of time.
Okay, so we're already in kind of bizarre territory here because he's like, well, we don't even know who the rich are. Well, yeah, we do. They're the top 10% who own 90% of the assets. So then we move into, but people who are the rich are changing all the time. So he could be talking about social mobility here. Like, well, people, they start making more money. One day this guy made more money and then whatever. But they don't provide any numbers on this, because we're talking about macroeconomics. We're going to need some numbers, right? Too bad there's none, man. So I guess I believe Ben Shapiro. Oh, wait a second. What's this? Economists from Harvard and Berkeley released a comprehensive study. This is in 2014. According to one of the guys who did this study, social mobility is low and has been for at least 30 or 40 years. This is most obvious when you look at the prospects of the poor. 70% of people born into the bottom quintile, remember they were talking about the quintile of this, 70% of people born into the bottom quintile of income distribution never make it into the middle class. Ooh, those are not good odds. That's not good odds, bro. And fewer than 10% get into the top quintile. What the political scientist Michael Harrington wrote back in 1962 is still true. Most people who are poor because, quote, they made the mistake of being born to the wrong parents. Ooh, ouch, jeez, calm down, bro. I'm going to start reacting more to the drops, you know? Hold on, let me get my wallet. So far, this is just the first couple minutes of the video, the first 2 minutes and 49 seconds of the video. We got, we don't even know who the rich are. And then we look it up and it's like, yeah, no, it's the top 10% who owns 90% of the assets. Then he's like, well, people change. You know, well, this guy becomes rich all the time. That happens all the time in somebody's life. Then you look at the numbers and no, that's not true. There's actually not very much social mobility. So we're not doing good so far.
So put aside race or sex or any of the other complicating factors people like to talk about with regard to income.
Yep.
If you take age is probably the #1 confound in terms of the income quintile. Younger people earn less. As you move into middle age, you earn more.
Oh, so that easy. Okay, then I'll just get older quicker. He's basically what he's saying is don't be so quick to judge the wealthy because you're going to be one soon when you're older, you know? And if you just kind of look at the overall statistics of that, it looks true. So this would be mean wealth age. This is from 2019. Mean wealth by age, okay? 18 to 35, not so good. 36 to 50, getting bigger. Then we get up to 51 to 65. Whoa, okay, it's true. So I will be rich just by turning into a decrepit fossil. If you actually look at each of these demographics, whatever it is, people who went to college, white people, black people, whatever, if you look at those demographics individually, in every one of the demographics, you get stuff like this. Percent of age 51 to 65 wealth owned by each wealth decile. And basically what you get is this. You get most people, the vast majority of people, just like 10% of people owning 90% of the stocks, you get this. The top 10% is owning the vast majority of that wealth. So when he's kind of implying, well, look, you know, you're going to enter being super wealthy just as you get older. As you get older, you're not likely to enter that top 10% where most of that wealth is. You're more likely to enter the lower bottom 90%. By the way, this is already very well-known information. There was a best-selling book, a couple of years ago? Thomas Piketty's Capital. There's that. So having more money is just really good because you can make more money by having more money, basically. So that reinforces itself, but also there's the thing of passing money down to your family members, your children, and all that. But statistically, we don't see that much social mobility, and that's why, because the money kind of stays with those people.
So what does the rich mean? Typically, we actually mean people who earn a lot of income.
Most of what I've heard you talking about has been about the distribution of income rather than about the distribution of wealth.
The Elizabeth Warrens of the world want to tax wealth.
You built a factory and it turned into something terrific or a great idea. God bless. Keep a big hunk of it. You take a hunk of that and pay forward for the next kid who comes along.
But as we've seen, wealth on paper is not always wealth in reality. What's more, taxing wealth ends with destroying wealth, because people have to then liquidate their unrealized gains in order to pay taxes. The left says that they're focusing on income tax. They don't even focus on that, really.
But what it sounds like he's trying to do here is trying to say, well, you can't think of rich people as people who own stocks and assets. You can't think of that because it could go down, bro. So that's out. And I think the reason that he's doing that is because that's exactly how the rich avoids paying taxes. And you might remember this. This is from mid-2021. ProPublica came out with this thing that was kind of like, people were like, whoa. For 10 minutes, people were like, whoa. And they were like, oh, Elden rings. The secret IRS files, trove of never-before-seen records, reveal how the wealthiest avoid income tax. Oh, that causes some problems for what's the headline? The rich don't pay their fair share. And this thing says how the wealthiest avoid income tax. That just seems weird. Here's just a taste. It's a very interesting article, which I guess Ben Shapiro's counting on his audience not finding things like this. He's like, they're idiots. They'll never look this up. They're talking about Jeff Bezos here. Jeff Bezos' tax avoidance is even more striking if you examine 2006 to 2018, a period for which ProPublica has complete data. Oh, God. Bezos' wealth increased by $127 billion, wow, according to Forbes. But he had reported a total of $6.5 billion in income. The $1.4 billion he paid in personal federal taxes is a massive number. Yes, yes. Yet, it amounts to a 1.1 true tax rate on the rise in his fortune. Wow. I mean, to put that in perspective, I paid 17% taxes in taxes. And Jeff Brazzers, he paid 1? That seems different, bro.
Here we go.
Take a doo-doo pie.
This is a little bit unrelated, but I thought this part was funny. When ProPublica started going through all this stuff, they started emailing these people, including George Soros. Mr. Soros has long supported higher taxes for wealthy Americans. That throws a problem. Personal and corporate representatives for Bezos declined to receive detailed questions about the matter. Oh, God, what? This is my favorite part. They reached out to Elon Musk. This immediately, just from this, they should seize all his money and cars. Musk responded to an initial query with a lone question mark. That's the most obnoxious. He's like, what? What? What are you talking about? So he sends just a question mark reply to the email. That's even annoying if you sent, if that was, to your daughter. Hey, did you clog the toilet with doo-doo? And you just get a question mark back. You're like, you know what I'm asking, you little turd. So here we go. After we sent detailed questions to him, he did not reply. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, here's in detail what we're talking about. I'm not interested. And, maybe we don't even need all this crap. The rich don't pay their fair share or whatever. That's your question. One thing you could do is just ask them.
You can cut spending, you can raise taxes, but I would say that the wealthy are definitely undertaxed relative to the general population.
But your answer,
Whoa, what? But Ben Shapiro. We gotta stop doing that, please. I find it a little bit weird that the guy who wrote Margaritaville made that much money off of that song, frankly. And I think that What's this video called? Probably doing a joke that I don't believe. It's fake. Oh no, it's called The Wealthy Are Undertaxed Relative to the General Population. Jeez. Also, we need to bring back people like this. This lady rules.
I mean, they've got marvelous accountants that know how to fix everything up.
The company like the Ford.
They got marvelous accountants. I got my little shades on.
Every older woman was Martin Scorsese's mom back in the 70s. I like it. Bring it back.
Look at this.
That's beautiful.
I like this one. One dog goes one way and the other dog goes the other way.
And this is from that same ProPublica clip. The results are stark. According to Forbes, those 25 people, this is the 25 richest people, I guess, saw their worth rise a collective $401 billion from 2014 to 2018. They paid a total of $13.6 billion in federal income taxes. Wow. In those 5 years. That's a staggering sum. Okay, end of thing, right? That's a staggering sum, but it amounts to a true tax rate of only 3.4%. Again, my little ass, paid 17%. And Brazzers and Elon Musk and all these morons, 3.4%. So what was the name of your video again? The rich don't pay their fair share. Oh, that's, So normal people can't really avoid paying taxes. So you get this, again, from the same ProPublica crap. It's a completely different picture for middle-class Americans. For example, wage earners in their early 40s who have amassed a typical amount of wealth for people their age. Okay, from 2014 to 2018, such households saw their net worth expand by about 65,000 bones. Wow. after taxes on average, mostly due to the rise in the value of their homes. But because the vast bulk of their earnings were salaries, their tax bills were almost as much, nearly $62,000 over that 5-year period. So way more of a tax burden than 3.4%. No one among the 25 wealthiest avoided as much as taxes as Jimmy Buffett, the parrot head. The grandfatherly centrobillionaire. That's perhaps surprising, given his public stance as an advocate of higher taxes for the rich. I wonder why he would do that if they're paying their fair share, according to Benny Shapiro. According to Forbes, his riches rose $24.3 billion between 2014 and 2018. Over those years, the data shows Buffett reported paying $23.7 million in taxes. Here we go now. That works out to a true tax rate of 0.1%. Oh, boy. What's he doing with all that money, buying Hawaiian print shirts? That piece of shit? Drinking pina coladas? That asshole? So I guess in summary, how would I summarize this? In sum, if you didn't already know, this guy we make fun of all the time. His name's Ben Shakeno. He's crazy.
Well, guys, it's Friday.
Yeah, kiss my ass to the world, you know?
Uber cars.
Say it again.
Uber cars.
Ooh, say it again for the people in the back.
Uber cars.
That's right, thank you. God bless you. That's right, guys, it's the weekend where we make pee-pee in Uber cars. There's another way I think of the weekend, and that is...
the beginning of the rise of the Antichrist.
Exactly. Oh! Well, guys, have a good weekend. Please be careful and all that crap, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.
And don't forget to make pee-pee Uber cars. Make pee-pee Uber cars.
Uber cars. Uber cars.
Make pee-pee Uber cars. Make pee-pee Uber cars.
Uber cars. Uber cars.